What's up, Saj?
What's going on, man? Long time no see.
Man, it feels like ages.
Dude, I'm still recovering from Vegas, mate. That show was
Oh,
brilliant, but
oh
man,
man, I
it's still
slept for
lingering on.
2 days. I slept for 2 days. It was like I don't know if it was sleeping or just sitting on the couch. I had that spot, that spot on your couch
Oh,
that it's really my happy place. I don't know. My happy place used to be out with my buddies drinking and stuff. Now it's that corner spot on the couch. Every once in a while, someone knocks on the door. I'm like, oh man.
oh man, Sunday was coma for me. I was just in and out of coma on that spot on the couch. My wife would come and check on me and go, "Hey, you alive?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." Back to sleep, man.
Yeah.
I had to recover from a great show in Vegas. It was awesome.
Your booth, though. So, tell me a little bit about. That was a different booth than you had the first year, man. Tell everybody who you are first. I know I just kind of just popped into there, and I assume everybody knows who you are. Tell everybody who you are.
So we are. My name's Sasha, as you can tell. I'm from the deep south, very deep south. As everyone knows, most people are getting to know the Aussie acronyms that I put out there. Your general manager of Line Fence and Steel Supply, Riverside. We have 2 locations, and our specialties: iron, welded wire, and temp fencing. So that's really we specialize in that product.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Okay, now do it again in English so we can all understand what.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Ever. Ever. I'll just say "G'day, mate" a lot. Yeah, mate. Yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah, no, you're full of crap, mate. Yeah.
It was a party over by you. There's no doubt. Every time I walked up. So it was a little different booth this time. Last time you were over by the front door.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it definitely wasn't the front door. I will say that that entrance, the ribbon cutting, the opening ceremony to the show was freaking brilliant. Like, I just remember going, "Oh, here we go, Brian." I could hear the drums, the procession coming through, and I'm like, I don't know if our booth is in a good spot at all. And I look up, and you've got all the drums and the stilt lady, Darth Vader, and Elvis. I look around, I'm like, there's 300 people in our booth. This was a great spot. So that was awesome. And yeah, we did things a little different this year for our booth. That's thanks to Tom Leahy, our GM in Houston. He's the decorative, guy. I'm just like, put beer in there and we're good, man. Beer attracts everybody. So, but yeah, we did the balloon festival in our booth this year, and it was good. It was a great time. And I tell you what, anywhere you're near Mr. Fence, like, you are going to have an amazing turnout, right? It was just, they're banging away. And there's 7 different booths that they had at the place. So, we were really privileged to have a really good spot right opposite the stage. Yep. I don't know what the heck that trapeze artist was doing, but I'm like, man, that is nuts. Hold on to that little ribbon thing. I'm like, mate, my fat ass couldn't even get a foot off the ground, let alone hold that teepee up there for me. So it was awesome. It was really cool.
5 years ago, I broke my toe getting the remote when I was just getting up once. So can you imagine? Can you imagine all of us up there twirling around on that thing?
Oh, no. Not fencing, guys. Maybe Sean King is pretty fit. I'll give it to Sean. He could maybe do it, I reckon. But yeah, definitely not me. No way.
Some of Jared Twist's kids, some of those guys that came with him, man.
Some
got up there for sure.
Yep. For sure, they're young. Yep.
So for people that don't know you and don't know where you came from, I want to make sure they understand where'd you start off in the fence industry? How'd you get into this?
Yeah, I think, I tell this story a fair bit. There's really, in my experience in fences, only sort of 2 type of fencing people and ladies. You're either born in it somehow, or husband or wife was in it, or you just stumble in it. And that's sort of me. I'm the stumbling guy that was desperate for a job and answered this ad. Back then, they still had ads. Yes, we did answer ads back in the day, and didn't have all of these online searches, and went in for a job as an operations manager in a fence install company. Completely shocked, scared out of my mind. Like, what the hell is this industry? Yeah. And this is going back now, maybe nearly 18 years, and I've loved it ever since.
Yeah, never installed before. So it was an install company. You came in doing.
So my background is construction. I've been in construction my whole life, generally on the operations side, both on the tools and as a manager. And this was my first time really getting to know the fencing industry. I think had you asked me 18, it's a fence, dig a hole, put a post in, what the hell? Not rocket science. Until you get into the industry, you go, man, this is some cool stuff that even chain link, the guys that are putting up chain link, the fittings, the all tying off, and it blew my mind about how amazing our industry and how much talent we actually have. It's not just as simple as digging a post, So it's been my journey. And then when I moved to America, I fell in on the supply side, which was interesting. It was something different. And I've been in the supply side now for nearly, 8 to 9 years now in the States. Yep.
Right. So straight into the United States, you started straight into the supply side, not in the installation.
I worked for probably the second or third largest supply company supplier in America, and I was straight into the country.
So Las Vegas Fence, you worked for us? That's hard to.
Oh, I don't know. You guys aren't very nice, Don't like us Aussies, Sort of spray us with a spray bottle. Get out of here,
Right.
Like, dude, I'm not a dog, man. Jeez.
I know. So you did that, and so you really kind of dug your. That's going straight into the supply side. You get to know a lot of people quick. I mean, this is a tight industry when it comes to that, for sure. What did you like? I mean, how long were you in it? Did you actually like the supply side?
Yeah, so look, I'm in it now still. So I've been in it for about 8 years. It's funny, if you ask me which side of the fence, no pun intended, or like about 4 months ago, I would have said, supply side all day, Yeah. But I had one of my clients like really give me a bit of a wake-up call, because he knows, I'm so passionate about this industry. I love this fence. I love it. And he said to me, Sash, where'd you get love from? Surely not from the supply. And I had to sit back and go, you know what? I did love the install side. Yeah. And I tell everyone, though, it's different. The stress, we have the same stress, but very different levels or different. Thinking the install side is a lot more stress. There's more moving parts. Yeah. So there's multiple stress, where supply side, there's not as much. The stress level's the same, but we don't have as many things to stress about. I think the install side, you got a lot more, a lot more stuff. But it's just crazy. I don't envy you guys. I won't lie. It's like you need to be a lawyer now to put a hole in the ground. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But it's work on both sides, because I mean, you came into my office. I'm ironic, and we're good friends now. I consider you a good friend of mine.
We were before.
So it's a lot of work. It's really tough to break into fence companies and where we're buying our materials at and stuff. And I think you had a great product, and obviously still do have a great product, and on the iron panels and stuff like that. And it's really tough to get in and actually start talking to the buyers and stuff. So I think you really kind of did your time, and even getting in with us. How many times did you come into my office and I don't even think I ever talked to you?
No, lots. You were protected by your team. Your team wouldn't even let me. I'm like, dude, I got an accent, man. No, they're like, we don't give a shit about your accent. There's many people with accents, you know what I mean?
So kick rocks, man. We're loyal, and for a reason. I mean, we're loyal because a lot of our distributors and people we work, and I'm a huge fan of all of them. I'm a huge fan of buying direct, but I'm also a huge fan of I think we need the manufacturer to distributor to the dealer to the end user model, because that's how you grow. I think that without, if you get rid of all the distributors and all that stuff, it makes it to where it's harder for the small companies to grow to the point where they outgrow, who they're buying from now. And that's the whole goal, is everybody to outgrow what they're doing today. And I think that there's a need for all of it. So we're loyal to it, because a lot of these distributors and stuff, man, they're the reason we're here. They're the reason they were helping us when we were starting our company, working out of our house. And they're the ones that were supplying us our materials when we only needed 6 tension bars and 50 feet of wire. Right.
Plus it's more to drive it to you than what.
So I think we got to protect everybody. We got to protect all those guys too.
I think, the one thing I've admired, and, as we've got to know each other and watch what FWA, is doing out in the industry, I'd like to say that that's really how our industry is, but I think it's pivoted a bit, through the years. Yeah. And it's come to a point where, for me personally, being on the, ex-contracting side, I see it with a little bit of a different lens. Yeah. And I feel feel like the industry needs another shake-up. Like we need to maybe not go back to 20, 30 years ago, but I'm thinking we do a little bit. We need to get back to that. Yeah, I know we're never going to get back to that, you know, that handshake, my word is my bond. Like I wish we could. I know times, but I just feel that sometimes from the supply side, we've really forgotten what this industry is really about. And often we just get wrapped up in, hey, I can't sell to you, you're buying from, you know, just this into battle. And then you go to a show like FWA, like last year was an eye-opener, and then go to see it this year, and you just, again, you're reminded back to back, it's really about the people putting in the holes, right? And I can't even call them contractors, and because I don't know, I think me and you touched on this when we were talking early on, like, what is a fence comp? Like, how do you define fence and then you put contractor next to it? Well, there's some states that don't have licensing, right? You don't need to be, but it doesn't mean you're not a fence contractor. I think that's the part of the industry that I'm really passionate about. Reminding people, hey guys, look, we've got a great industry. There's a lot of loyalty, but I'm feeling like there's a little bit of, like, I don't know what the right word is, but it's just, there's a little bit of unsurety. And I think we've got a lot to blame for it, the industry itself, right? Because we've allowed the bickering, you go over here, I go over here. And it's like, come on, guys, we've all started somewhere. If you look at all of our stories, Brian, most of the suppliers started in the back of their trucks, not even a truck, they had a car, you know? You've got to remember that this industry was born on ingenuity, entrepreneurism, and I just feel right now in the market, we've got to get reminded that this is what this is about. We need to support each other rather than sort of divide. And I feel that the one thing I loved about the FWA show, both years actually, of course this year was bigger, better, like, you know, it's growing, I get it. But what I've loved about both years is I'm just meeting more younger and younger people trying to do a fence install business. I'm like, are you sure? You're not crazy? You sure you're on drugs or something? I mean, and it's encouraging, right? Because
those are our people. Those are our people. I think we forgot why we were doing shows in the first place. I think, and you know, I think it got to the point where I believe, you know, even after I've spoke to a lot more people the last few years than I ever spoke to in the industry, and I believe people were doing shows because they felt like they had to do them. They felt like if they didn't do it, then people were gonna think they went out of business, or it was like they forgot why the shows were there in the beginning, and it wasn't for all of us. It wasn't for, you know, the exhibitors and all. It was for the attendees. It was for the fence companies. And if we can change these shows around and make it more catered to the experience for the attendees and these fence companies, so they can get to know us and sign us up, and, you know, sign them up for accounts and stuff, then, you know, we've succeeded. And then you're going to see these things grow organically on their own. It won't just be a show full of reps. Right. And we can grow it full of fence companies, and you can get, you know, filling a room up with an extra 1,000 people, 2,000 people that aren't there to purchase anything, and they're not going to purchase from each other. It's not why these shows were created in the first place. We need to get these fence companies that don't know where they're supposed to get their materials and they're a lot harder to reach, a lot harder to find, and get to actually go and attend shows. So I think as a group, all of us as vendors and people throwing the shows, if we work closer together throughout the year to actually search for, quit chasing the same 600 fence companies. And we got out there and found another, you know, 600, another 1,000 fence companies that aren't part of the networks. They don't know who FWA is. They don't know who AFA is. They don't know who NAFCA is. They don't know a fence tech. They don't know a fence show. They just literally want to come meet distributors and manufacturers and see what's out there. That's how we're going to build truly great shows again. It's just going to, you know, I think it's a more of a crawl than a race on that stuff, but it could be a race if everybody got together and pushed those. But circling back to what you said about the suppliers and things like that, I think that we started judging suppliers and manufacturers not by their service and more by who they sell to. And I don't know when that happened. I don't know when, but we started judging not by the products, not by the service, not how well they ship, not by you know, pricing, not by any of that. We started judging our suppliers and manufacturers solely on who they sell to. And that is where I think we went astray in our industry when we're at that point where you start a manufacturer and you're basically told who you can and who you should or who you shouldn't sell to, and you're shunned if you sell to this guy, or if you're you're told to only sell to this group of people. Same thing with the suppliers. So I think you're going to see this is changing. I mean, it's how it is today is not the same as how it was 3 years ago. And I think that we are a part of that, and FWA did push that. And we are telling people, and we're showing people that it's okay. It's okay to sell your products. You have families to feed, you have kids to put through college. So I love that you said that, because I do honestly feel like that's how it went, is that we're judging them by who they sell to instead of service and products.
And I don't know when that changed, right? Like, relatively speaking, I'm pretty young in the fencing world, but I don't know when it changed. And I feel that, look, it's like right now, I tell people, our hottest product that we're sort of pushing, or that we're moving, it is due to security. And that's a shame, right? Because America's such a great country, and we're having all these issues. And so out of necessity bears change. You know what I mean? Like, as we evolve, and for sometimes the worst, right? Because, do we really want to fortify our schools? You know what I mean? But we have to, right? There's this change that's happening, and due to this negative change, if you want to call it, there's been a change so I feel we're in the same place as an industry. Like, to me, it's a shame. Like, it really is a shame, but it's a necessity, because I didn't get into fencing to be told where to buy and how to buy, and I can't buy because I'm this size and I'm that. That's not what I got into fencing for. I got into fencing because I love the industry, and I got to put in fence, and hopefully we're an industry, right? So I should be able to go and purchase within my industry of suppliers and my network of fencing vendors and manufacturers, or however you want to call it. And I think there's this big change, because at some point it's okay to have everything go through 5 big suppliers. I have no issue with that if it works and everyone can go there. But somewhere along the line, it got a little bit convoluted, and I need to have it, but there was a need, and I really feel that Lion saw the need. We love what FWA is about, and listen, and the other organizations. We're not here to bash on anything. It was just a need that you filled, and the FWA group and the whole team, like FWA women, what they're doing to me is just amazing. Supporting the women.
Speaking of that, look at this. Look at Michaela. She's like, hey, Brian and Sasha. those women from FWA, the women of FWA,
they're brutal.
They were everywhere. I mean, everywhere. So I can't thank them enough for all that support. I mean, I think they have more footage than we took, and we had hired professionals to do videos and stuff.
And that excites me too, because there's a whole industry there's a whole segment in using the women of FWA as an example, that we need to encourage women to come into our industry. One, I'm an ugly looking man, and I'm old, and we need to get this younger generation. But also, I really feel it. I've got a daughter. I keep telling her all the time, let's get in the industry. Come and have a look at it. Having the women of FWA as a bit more of, oh, Dad, it's a stupid. But now she's like, oh, cool. Like, there's a movement going that they're really pushing. It's when you're informed and you have information, you're empowered. That's how I look at. So I just look at life that, make the choice. Yeah, some people aren't going to be happy, but it is what it is. Like, we're here to support the industry and inform people, and it's up to you whether you yes or no, or in between, Yeah,
I learned a lot from them, and I still do. I mean, their videos, obviously their podcast is way more probably because it's not two ugly mugs like you and me on there, but their podcast is way better than ours. I can't figure out why, but their podcast and stuff. But I learned a lot, not just from that. It's just how organized and how attention to detail they are, and how much they care about the content that they're putting out. And they literally spend the time to have the discussions, and to actually make sure and they care about whether they're trying to bring some valuable content out on their show. So it's if anybody realized how hard they work for the women of FWA. And then I even had another husband that just happened to be at the show, and there was a lot of people I was talking to, so it's really hard to. It was at the show, and I guess his wife somehow was intertwined in one of the groups that they talk to and stuff. And he came up and thanked me. He's like, man, I can't thank you enough for, you know, I go, I didn't do anything. He goes, right. He goes for the women of FWA group. And I go, trust me, it was just an idea. They made it happen.
Yeah.
So I go, but I appreciate that. He says, he goes, never before has my wife felt like she was involved in our industry.
Yes.
And I guess she was there somewhere.
And they're a lot of the time, they're the backbone of our businesses and our industry. And that's why I'm excited too. Like I said, I really feel for good or for worse, I believe it's going to be for good. There's a bit of a shaking, and I think it's time, right? I think it's time that we all stop using the analogy, the sandpit. You're in that. No, we're all in the same sandpit, people, and just put it down. Like, we can all work together, and it'll work. And you know, it just takes, unfortunately, takes people to push and, you know, step outside the box a little bit, and then, like, you know, 2 to 3 years time to laugh about this. Like, everyone's getting, like, the initial push. It's really hard, right? It's you're trying to show the world that, hey, you can run a really good fencing business, you can run a really good show, and we can all be friends. We can actually be friends, you know, and it's a bit unusual for people at the moment, you know.
You don't have to choose. It's not a choice. And it's literally, if we don't support each other, we will tear the industry apart. And that's why I'm a big advocate. I'm like, you know what, support one show, all shows, support one association, all associations. You know, look at all the education that's going out there now. It's like, have you ever seen so much excitement around education, and not just education for established companies that have 10 employees that can afford to fly over the country and spend a week and spend thousands of dollars. There's so much education out there now from other associations as well that is for guys just starting out. I mean, go, you know what I mean? And I think I reshared some of it the AFA is doing as well. How amazing is that? I mean, we're talking about stuff saying, hey, if you're thinking about getting into the industry, let's take, and I love that this, you know, that this movement that we all started together is taking off and it's spreading. I can't wait until there's a joint show, to be honest, between like FWA, AFA, NAFCA, WASA. Imagine if we all got together and did some massive.
Imagine that. Look, imagine it though. Just picture that. That is amazing. You know what I mean? That's really what this is all about. Whatever people might hear and say out there, the real truth, that's what this is about. It's just about putting our differences aside, remember what this industry is about, and we need to support each other. And, you know, I love this university, you know, yours, you know, AFA, like that, to me, that's really important, because they're what do you do after wood? Like, okay, I can install wood, or what do I do after I install vinyl? Like, there's a lot more fencing out there that I can do as a fence company. But where do I go? I'm too scared. Like, I don't know, you know, so I really feel it goes back to that thing. Once you're informed and educated, your mind can't contract. You know, so now it's up to you where you want to go, you know, and it's cool. If you want to just do wood, great. But if you want options, come and learn, you know, and I think that's what's exciting. And I'll be honest, the show, there was a lot of younger people, which excited me a lot. I haven't seen that a lot. So seeing these, the younger generation, you know, getting involved in our industry, like really invested though, which was really amazing. You know, from the FWA women to some of the young, just volunteering, you know, it was really. But
we can do better. I mean, we could do better, not just we as a whole, but FWA, we can do, I mean, obviously we're running Las Vegas events at the same time. So everybody was there is answering the phones for like, even if you call FWA today, I think we answer the phone Las Vegas fence. We're still, it's still today. We don't even, you know, they're like, well, do you want us to set it up to where the phone number shows? I go, no, you know what? I go, just answer Las Vegas fence. People are just going to have to, you know, is this the fence show? Is this, is this the fence? Yeah. Okay. Whatever they need. Right. But I, you know, we can't afford to have staff sitting here full time waiting for the phone.
Which you can't hide who you are either. Right. That's where I'm like, come on, guys, let's just let it go. We are who we are. We've all got businesses, and I don't care what show you run or don't run. We've all got businesses in fencing. So it's okay. It's all cool. Like, it's fine. You know, at the end of the day, this is why we're doing it. We're in the industry. And granted, more than not, you're either own an install company or you own event. You know what I mean? Like, we're involved on.
Well,
You know,
I think no matter what, it's tough because the only people that can put these things on really is people in the industry. And if you're in the industry and you're at the point where you can put one of these on, you either own, operate, every single board member, every single president of any association or whoever it is, either owns, operates, or runs one of your competitors of every exhibitor in there. So it's just every one of them. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. You know what I mean, right?
And it's okay, right? It's literally okay.
I mean, the president of any association right now either owns, operates, or runs a distributor or a manufacturer or something. So you know, it's hard for people to separate that, you know, sometimes, and it to a degree. But I love how the industry is just truly coming together, and you're seeing this change. And look at our show. I mean, you're seeing now some of the larger distributors. Look at Master Halco was there, and you know, I remember I had a talk with them after our first show, and they walked around, and I saw them, and they were just some great guys to talk to. I mean, I was just, I mean, they came up, I sat down, and we had some chats, and like, you know what, we should have been here. We're going to be here, and they lived up to it, man. We went, you know, talked back and forth throughout, you know, the next year, and they were there. And look how many people were there. They were in the aisleways talking to fence companies, and the fence companies. And I think sometimes people have a perception of these large distributors, and I'm like, it's half the time it's not true. It's just, they want to sell you materials, all of them. You know, right?
And it's funny because I got caught in it, right? I got caught in the perception game, working for a big competitor, and I got wrapped in it. I won't lie, right? So it's that learning curve. And I really feel right now, and I can only speak on the vendor side, that we need to pull together as vendors. Yeah, you might sell to, dude, we live in a free country for that reason. I really feel if we get together as vendors, right, and start to support each other and go, okay, listen, all differences aside, yes, your booth is better than my booth, or yes, you selling. Who cares? At the end of the day, we don't even have a business if we can't together collectively as vendors go out and get the you know what I mean? Like bring that whole community together, because it's okay. It's okay if you sell vinyl and I sell vinyl, or you sell iron and I sell iron. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. But if we get together, I really feel on the vendor side, we're just going to, all of these shows are just going to hit another level. Like they're just going to level up. And I think that's the challenge. For me personally, I want us to all get together and go, hey guys, all right, let's put this down. It is what it is. And let's get this community rolling again. Let's be part of the community instead of trying to steer it. Let the community steer us. That we need each other, you know, and that's what I got out of the show. Like you know, the show had nearly doubled. How much did the show? It was huge.
It was like it grew by like 45%, I think.
That's amazing
in the 1 year, and we're actively pushing to find more, and we spend a lot of time doing that, you know, and which I don't think, you know, it's hard to explain how much time we spend actively trying to find new fence companies. You know, some people are coming in from Hawaii or wherever, and we're actively literally searching for people that don't know, like I said, anything about these shows, and bring them to the shows, because we want to put new people in front of you guys. I don't want to bring up a bunch of people who already know Sasha. I mean, we can hang out and have beers anytime. I want to literally I want you to resell yourself. My goal is see how many times I get you to resell yourself and have you be, what do you mean this guy doesn't know who I am? What? What is happening here?
And it's good for us too, because we've got to remind ourselves we can't just be order takers as vendors either. Like we've got to get out with the people, and we understand that it's not just sit back just because I have a name or a big company or whoever. You know, we've actually got to meet the people where they're at and encourage them and remind them that, hey, we're here regardless. You know, maybe I can't support you on every job, but who cares? Like if I can't, I'm going to find you someone that can. Or hey, in this community, you're in Hawaii, go talk to these guys. You're in Florida, go talk. You know, I feel like we're too scared, and I think that's what's changing. I really noticed a big swing over the last 2 years from your first show, from the FWA's first show to the second one. It's really starting to move that movement to guys, we're in this together. And look, it's not easy for me. Cross the Road was my biggest competitor, right? But so what? That's how it is, right? It's not what I'm going to go, oh, Brian, what do you mean? FWA, no, that's unacceptable.
Oh, well, don't think I don't get those calls sometimes, but not that much.
You know what I mean?
But I think what we're doing with FWA, and the goal is we're showing we're going to show the industry who's really supporting fence companies of all sizes. And I think when you walk our floor, differently than, even some other places, you notice the difference. You notice the openness, because people say, hey, this is the most open show we've ever been to. We can walk around. We can, everybody's welcomes into our booth. They're out at the end of the booth. I think we're truly showing the industry who's supporting us. And it's just taken longer for some people to jump on board once they realize that we're for it. It's hard for sometimes people to realize we're for the distributors, but we're for the manufacturers selling as well, and it's for all of it. But if we don't protect the whole thing, we don't protect the entire industry, we're going to get stuck with, no options. And that's not good for our industry either. So last thing I want is one person delivering to my area. So, and then you're stuck with just that one option. So I think that it's great to have you guys.
Unless it's line, okay? Unless it's line, that's fine. But you know what I mean? That's, you're right. Because for me to expect it can only be one line or one, that's not realistic, and it's okay. Like there's plenty of room. We just
Hey, let's look at some comments here. Looks like the boss just got here.
Look out.
She's being awful nice, considering. Let me show you the other one here. She's saying competition makes us be better, which is true. Yep. That's kind of what we're getting at. So we're seeing a better industry right now, and we're seeing better shows, better resources, better education, and it is partially because we're challenging it. We're saying, hey, if you don't make it better, we're gonna. So we're getting what we should have had a long time ago, in my opinion. So this is the first thing she says. Thank you for supporting the women of FWA, Sasha. And like I said, she's being pretty nice, considering a half an hour ago she called and said she was hungry, and I'm supposed to be taking her to dinner.
Better wrap this one up, buddy.
This is going to be changing. These messages are going to change here the hungrier she gets. But thank you, baby, for that. Everybody loves your support too. You worked hard last week, so
absolutely hard work, man. She's a trooper. Absolute trooper.
I don't know how she puts up with it and puts up with me on all that stuff. So
nobody knows, dude. Nobody knows.
Let's say hi to a few people. Robert Evers had an awesome time at the show. He's Two Smooth Operators. They're doing a podcast and stuff too. So hey, and he brought some equipment. Did some. I think I did a podcast with him too. One of those. So thanks for coming, man. It was great. It was great seeing him in person, because I know we've kind of just talked, through the messages and stuff. So. Orlando Hinge Company, man, they were walking around. Thanks for coming, you guys. Yeah, I don't know if you heard of these people before or not.
No, never. Look, can I just stop?
Or Germany?
I don't want to plug them, but dude, you can't help but plug them. They're the most amazing humans, and they love our industry, and I've got nothing but respect for JC. They're awesome.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know what it was, and here they are. Here's Mary. Hey, gentlemen, love the show. So, Mark and Mary, it's just, I swear to God, it was like one phone call, met them once, and now it's like family. They're like family. It's like it's hard to go to California without even saying hi.
Did you see the necklace they made for the women of FWA?
I don't know. Maybe Yadira's on here, or somebody, or Michaela. Maybe they can tell us how many they sold of those necklaces. I was like, she came into my shop and she's like, "What are all these things?" And, our fitting room. If you see in our fitting room, we have every chain link fitting and hinge or latch you could possibly imagine for chain link. And we held up like a fork latch, and she's like, "I think I can make jewelry out of that." I thought she was kidding.
Dude, I bought one. That's how good it was. I thought, I'll just walk. I'm like, dude, since when do you make really good fence jewelry, right? I was like, all right, got one, bought one. My daughter loves it. We're waiting for the outfits, and we're going to give a whole shout out to FWA women when they get their outfits coming. But that was just amazing. That's what I'm talking about. Dude, jewelry and fencing don't sort of mix, man. It was so nice, that necklace.
And this is a vibe that it's what we're creating, and I truly believe it's because we don't outsource it. We don't, it's all done by fencers. And, I don't know. I think first off, we don't have the money to do it, but if we did, and if we had the money, you know how much easier it would be just to hire a management company and then show up the day of the show. But I think we would lose that feeling you get when you show up and the people you've been talking to are the same ones, on the phone, are the same ones at registration. And man, we're having printer issues, network issues. We can't get the lanyards to go through the badges. And it's just we can't find, we're having a hard time in the system. That's because we don't do it all the time. We're not they're not printing badges except for once, 2-3 days a year. So,
Yeah. Right. Putting the whole dot matrix printer, we're like, oh, damn it.
No, and then I go inside and I'm like, what would I want? Right?
Yeah.
How to build a show with the service we want, the food or this or drinks or,
Look,
and
your team, All Hats, I don't know if they've been praised enough, and everyone that's watching this, shout out to the FWA whole team.
Yeah.
Women, men. It was just, they made you feel like, hey, Sash, do you need anything? Brooks was running around. Hey, you guys good? You were running around everywhere. The team was running. Like, it made us feel like, oh, cool. Like, they actually care, right? It was just, it was a good feeling, because if we needed anything, we could just ask, right? And I'm going to tell everyone that says that's rubbish. It happened to me, right? I'm like, dude, I need a 10 mil socket set to put this stupid thing that I designed, like a dumb Aussie, back to front. Like, Brooks, what can you do? I'll get you. You know what I mean? So they're always there, So that's another side. And I think for my team, I've got a young team. So they've experienced a few shows now, and the hype from the FWA show is just a reminder that, hey, while all the shows are good, that little bit of extra care and intimacy, if I can say that in not a wrong way, politically correct, it just goes a long way,
And it's a lot of effort though too. And I, even like us, thank you, JC Gurry. We're all ready for next year too. Biggest booth they've ever had at a fence show in, I don't know, 50 years since they've been doing fence shows.
That is awesome.
Really cool. I mean, it was really cool of them to do that. And to support us on that level. So we were super excited about that. But I think what, we had a talk even before. It's like, even me, I'm kind of in the face of some of this stuff that we're doing. I made sure no matter what, that I wasn't disappearing. And when that show opened at 10 a.m. until 5, I was on the floor the whole time. And it is a big deal to walk around and shake hands and tell people thank you for coming, because it's a humbling experience to have that many people plan, airline tickets and hotel rooms and passes, the inconvenience of shutting your companies down to come. It's not something that I take lightly, and I want to say thanks to as many people as I can. And you can't say thanks to everybody but you can walk around and you can be present and at least say hi and see if they're willing to take a picture with me. And some people are trying to take a picture, like, hey, can I take a picture with you? And I'm like, well, can I take one with you? I mean, I drove 8 minutes to get here. You know what I mean? You flew for 8 hours.
Right? And you know what it's like. You hit it on the head. It's not, these shows are not cheap. They take a lot, but to have that, to be able to have your team just so helpful. Look, even as silly as this is, having the snacks, the waters, right, you're running at 100 mile an hour, and there's only so much beer that you can have in your body. Some can have more than others, but that was good. You went over, you had your iced tea, had a bit of a break. It was, it goes a long way. I really feel that from an exhibitor's perspective, the show was awesome. The show was awesome for us, period, anyway. But just those little things, and they stay in your mind. Even my team's mind, they're like, now that was cool. Like, just these little things that people might not think much of, they go a long way, Yeah,
well, we appreciate that. And we appreciate that feedback everybody gives us on those things. But we're going to do even better next year. And, I'm going to be challenging. One thing I didn't do last year is now that the vendors and the exhibitors have grown, is I'm going to be challenging, and I'm going to have a lot more conversations with the exhibitors and the vendors and say, hey, we can build this thing together and we can make it the show that we all wanted and bring back that vibe and that energy and that feeling that energizes these younger generation to stay involved in it. And I'm going to be challenging all of you guys to say, hey, go find 5 fence companies. You got a year. Go find 5 fence companies that have never been to a fence show or, haven't been in a decade or so. And let's all work together to bring them to Vegas and, get everybody working together on it. And I think we can do it.
Oh, no, we can. And there's not a think about it. I'm really passionate. Like I said, I love what you guys are doing. But I think from a vendor's perspective, me first too, because I'll be the first one to admit, we need to get better at promoting ourselves, right? So from that perspective, I really feel that we need to get together as a vendor group and just, because the more we can support ourselves and challenge ourselves, it's only going to be better for us and the industry as a whole. So I'm with you. I think it's time. I think it's time that as a vendor community, we actually put it out there and start really, chasing this.
Hey, how about that Master Helco truck in the parking lot?
Oh man!
Did
I
you
slashed
see that?
the tires. All you Master Helco guys, I wrote big Aussie. No, dude, that was so cool. Like, I'm just like walking in there. I'm just like, that is a truck, right? That's a fencing truck,
man.
From the price side, it was amazing.
I don't know, man. There must have been $250,000 worth of materials in the back of that thing or something.
I tried to steal them, but I don't sell chain link anymore. I'm like, damn it.
I told him I'd keep everybody so drunk nobody could drive. So
good point.
But how cool was that? Right up there where you drive in. I wanted to make sure everybody knew this was our hotel. You know.
Oh, they knew the fencing guys were in town. Let me tell you that. That truck was awesome. Yeah.
And you know what? I think what the people loved us from next door that were doing that country thing that was going on, and then at any given moment, I think we had a couple hundred people sometimes in those rooms, education rooms, and then they would come back in, and then some more people would go back in. You wouldn't even notice a switch. So it was that, and then walking around, inside the other thing. So it was just it was a unique experience for a lot of people. So that was pretty cool. Hey, are you going to the fence cruise? Come on, man.
I've got to. Yep. When is it? February 3rd? Oh, yeah, man.
February 3rd. If anybody's watching, try to screenshot this. I'm going to try. We'll start posting this thing on My Fence Life's Facebook page and LinkedIn here probably a little bit later today, and on my personal one. I'll send it over to you so you can share it too. There must be, people were, I guess last time, I haven't talked to them in a while, there must have been 6 to 12 rooms already booked, and coming up, and it's going to be coming up in February, and I haven't really marketed it fully yet, but so there's the phone number. Call, talk to Megan. She's really cool. Use that code and get it booked for 4 days in the Bahamas. How cool is that going to be?
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Can I get a fishing rod off the back of that boat, Brian?
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, I've checked, and look, JC Gurry's already booked. There's a bunch of people in here that already booked, but by the way, I did the research, and it takes about 10 hours, because it would be irresponsible of me to invite a bunch of fencers on a cruise and not find out how long it would take for that cruise ship to turn around and get you if somebody fell in, right?
Oh, so 100%.
10 hours, though, it takes 10 hours, I think, for that cruise ship to turn about. So we got to be pretty little careful about some people, make sure they don't go over the side. So I think,
make sure it's a big yellow, the boys are yellow, they stand out, we can throw it out.
Yeah.
We'll see in about 10 hours while I'm drinking a scotch or something.
So Chris Skelton, CJ, we call him, his first show ever. By the way, this guy's been in the fence industry probably for, I don't know, less than 6 months. And his first experience was a show. Awesome. He's energized, wants to stay in the industry. And hopefully get a career, in the industry. This is what it's about. That guy right there is what it's about. And hopefully makes a career and stays in it. A lot of people don't know that Leticia that works for us, she came over from Mexico, works in the office. You met her, and a lot of people, the exhibitors might know her, and vendors. And somebody in our office was asking everybody, hey, what's your 5-year plan? And she's only been really for a couple of years. And she's like, well, I really would like to try to, and she's got an engineering degree. She goes, I would like to try to make a career in the fence industry. I really like it. So that's the kind of stuff that we need more of, and we need to take those people, and these are the ones that are going to take over our companies. Right?
100%.
So it's kind of cool. But hey, Sasha,
there's a lot more smarter people than me and you in this industry, and they need to take over. 100%. 100%.
They have to, because given enough time, it's kind of like when we were younger in the bar. If we talk long enough, we'll screw it up. So same thing. If you leave us to do whatever we want to do long enough, we're going to screw it up. We need these people a lot smarter than us to come take it over.
Yeah, 100%.
We don't need people to sabotage us. We'll do it ourselves.
Yeah, we're quite good at doing that on our own. Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, man, I won't keep you too long. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. I'm sure I'll be chatting with you again. I'll send you over some of that information on the fence cruise, and I'll pull that up one last time for everybody to see. In case anybody didn't catch it. That's it. That's the information, you guys. Thank you, everybody else. I want to say thank you to a lot of the great people, that sponsors and everybody that made it. I know Homeland, man, they really went all out on that party. on
that party, Brian.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Oh, there's so
I
much
was
to
gonna let you
talk
go.
about.
Oh man, I was gonna let you go.
Oh, don't even start. That party was freaking off the hooks. Off the hook.
Let's look at that. Wednesday, Spasmatics they got.
Dude, when I saw the guys up there, I'm like, oh, here we go. Some junk. Dude.
How cool was that?
Boom, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. It was awesome. Yeah.
And you had Kent Scott up there, man.
Dude, that was awesome. Yeah, I had Kent from Scott Spence. It was awesome to hang out with him. That's the first time he's been to a show for a long time. So, and he enjoyed it. Like, yeah, it was. Dude, that was a great party.
I think we follow each other. I mean, me and him follow each other on Facebook. So, but we've never really met in person, and it was just down to earth, dude. I mean, it was great. Yeah. It was great seeing him in person. It's funny you get to see all these people in person. It's amazing. It's really cool to see. So, yeah, thank you again, Homeland. They put a lot of effort, for not just effort, money to, let's call it what it is, right? Right? To pull that off for us and give us all that experience. So I can't thank Homeland enough for that. Anyway, again, thanks, Sash. I will talk to you later.
You got it.
Thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye, everybody.